Hello everybody, good evening, welcome to That's Football. It's Champions League live watch-along time, and it is Arsenal, Night of Destiny against PSG. Can they do it? Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Well, we won't have to wait that long, 10 minutes, but how are we feeling? And we're going to get a little bit of a poll going on here. How are you feeling about this? We will have Arsenal fans in here, of course, but I don't know. I think last night sort of showed us, didn't it, that anything can happen in this Champions League. Barcelona not in it anymore is a little bit surprising to some, but look, not to me. I think this tournament has been wide open since Real Madrid went out. Saw the clip from Paul Scholes actually calling Arsenal bottle jobs. When was the last time they won a big game? At Real Madrid? But I don't think they're bottle jobs. I don't think they're bottle jobs. I think sometimes people can be a little bit lazy in their analysis of Arsenal. Obviously, some Arsenal fans get very frustrated. Arteta, but no, I don't think they're bottle jobs. I think that they're probably frustrating to some of their fans because they're so close to being the finished article. But tonight they're underdogs. They're not bottle jobs. And I think it's very unfair to call them bottle jobs against a PSG side, which, if we're being completely honest, is better on paper than Arsenal, certainly bench-wise. And on top of that as well, but that was the case last night, wasn't it, with Inter? So Barcelona on paper were a better team, but Inter were the better team. So can Arsenal do it is the big question. I'm about to start the poll. The question, I suppose, is to myself, can Arsenal do it? Yes. I've seen Man United go there. Rashford, penalty late on. Liverpool won there. I mean, this is what people don't realise. Well, they do realise. They just don't want to say it. PSG, very good side, very rarely kill teams off. They were brilliant. They dominated Liverpool in that first leg. And they lost 1-0 in Paris. So if you are an Arsenal fan, you've got to hold on to the thought that if you can stay in the game, and I have played the game, if you can stay in the game, then you've got a great opportunity of doing something here. But look, it will be over very quickly if Arsenal concede a goal early on, because I'm interested to see how PSG approach this game tonight, considering they always seem to be quite an attacking side. And I think in this instance, why wouldn't you attack? You were better than Arsenal at their ground. It's only 1-0. I think attack is your best form of defence. Looking at the PSG lineup, Donnarumma, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho, Mendes, Neves, Vitinha, Ruiz, Barcola, Doué and Kvaratskhelia. Dembele is on the bench, but he doesn't start. So, you know, they've got good players to come in, though. Arsenal, not the bench they would want, but the bench they've gone with. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's Raya, Timber, Saliba, Kivior, Luis Skelly. It's Odegaard, Partey and Rice. And it's Saka, Marino and Martinelli. That team's capable, right? That team's capable. They didn't have Partey last week. The midfield can be strong. The defence can be strong. And Saka, Marino and Martinelli can score. So it can be done. I think the biggest issue Arsenal have got is the bench. Loads of defenders. Zinchenko, White, Calafiori, Tierney. Then they've got Jorginho, who's a defensive midfielder. There's not a lot on that bench for Arsenal other than Nwaneri and Sterling and Trossard. From an attacking sense, it's something, but it's certainly not what PSG have got in relation to people like Dembele, Ramos, Zaire-Emery, Baraldo, and a few others. So, yeah, interesting. Interesting, certainly. Exciting, certainly. And I'm hoping that we're going to get a game that is, up there with some of the best. I'm getting Baraldo mixed up with somebody. Who am I thinking of? Baraldo's a centre-back. I've just Googled it. Baraldo's not a bloody attacker. I'm thinking of Who was the winger for Italy who played in the Euros? Berardi. That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah, not Baraldo. Pratt. Anyway, I'm thinking about Berardi. I thought he played for PSG for some reason. I always did. Every time I see him on the bench, I'm like, he used to be a good player in the Euros. He doesn't play for PSG. That's a centre-back. The Gunners are basically England. So much promise, but we'll never get over the line. Do you agree, says Goldio? I need to run the poll on this because we're getting close to the start of the game. And I want to know who goes through. Let me know. I said last night I fancied Barcelona, but there's a big part of me thinks that Inter's going to do it. Tonight, I fancy PSG, but there's a big part of me think Arsenal are going to do it. So I'm going to say the same again. Yeah. Are you growing out your beard till United win the Europa League, says Mohit. I do need a shave, Mohit. That is a very subtle way of saying having a shave. I had a haircut today, and I don't like having a haircut and then being a bit grown here. Need a shave tomorrow. Hi, Mark. Debate in my group chat after Wenger comment. Do you think the Europa League winners should still be getting Champions League or just re-qualify for Europa? Seems harsh on the likes of Villa. Connor, whoever's in your group chat agreeing with Wenger needs to retire from football like Wenger. You've overstayed your welcome. It's absolutely stupid. I've had many a say on this, but I will drop the mic on it for the final time. UEFA Champions League, UEFA Europa League, UEFA Conference League. What's in common? They're all UEFA tournaments. UEFA have got every right to promote their tournaments the way they want to. And what a brilliant way. If you win the UEFA Conference League, you get promoted to the UEFA Europa League. If you win the UEFA Europa League, you get promoted to the UEFA Champions League. What is Wenger talking about when he says there's too many English clubs in there, there's 5 from the Premier League and there's 1 from the Europa League? Has he not figured it out? If you want to limit the number of teams in the Champions League, you just say top 4 and UEFA Europa League winner. They're not going to go and ruin their own tournament to let the 5 go in from the Premier League. You just take 4 from the Premier League and the UEFA Europa League winner. They shouldn't have. They're not going to change their format for Arsene Wenger. Stupid. Stupid comment. Stupid comment. Mike Dean to Sainsbury's VAR. Here we go. Confirmed, says Tanishk. And Garnacho and Yoro cannot be suspended in the finals, says Annie. Okay. I'm sure they can. I'm very sure they can. Come on, PSG, says Cheese and Ham. Well, look, the atmosphere tonight is going to be absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. In fact, it can appear on here. I have a bottle of Reds. I don't have a whole bottle. I have a glass of red for the last few games that United have played in the Europa League, and we've won every single time. So I said to Mrs. Goldbridge, get me a bottle of red Melbeck for tomorrow night. I've got to keep the tradition going. Well, she did make me laugh because she came back with this. Gary Barlow Melbeck. Absolutely fantastic. I just showed that on the United stand. So if you're on the United stand, you already know the joke. But you know what? We are setting trends. We are making change in the football industry. The Watchalong has now been adopted by everybody. Even my bloody gran used to do a watch. No, she didn't. But Beckham's doing watchalongs now. And guess what Beckham's got on the table? Red wine. Not only are they doing watchalongs, they're also copying the red wine theme as well. We're trendsetters. Even David Beckham, the legend, is doing a watch-along with red wine now. Add that. But I bet he ain't got no Gary Barlow in his mouth. I've just realised I'll have Gary Barlow. No, anyway, let's go. Hi, Mark. What's your opinion on Rangers? I know it's not your team, but just want to know your opinion on the Scottish team. I just want the Scottish Football League to be more better. You know, I want it to be more, competitive. If I can be honest about it. That's what I want. There we go. All unoriginal copycats. No, we're just trying. I don't care. Let them copy. Let them copy. Take it as a compliment. It's innovative. It's innovative. Just made me laugh about the red wine on this. I can't watch it, but I got sent a screenshot. They're even drinking red wine. I thought, yes, class. Beckham's class. That's why. Okay, let me just make sure this time is going to work. What's going to work? Teamwork. God, this Bruno conversation needs to stop, doesn't it? Okay, we're good to go. Odegaard, and I've got to stand up for this. I would be cheating myself and you if I didn't stand up for this, because I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this. I always think when I walk back to that, it's very central. It almost looks like... No, I'm not going to say anything. Not going to say any of that. So we're getting too excited. You're getting too excited for this game. Hi, Mark. How are you? Thank you for what you do, says Josh. Thank you for tuning in, Mohit and Josh. Mohit says, thank you very much for Mohit. I've read that one about the beard. Right, we've already got 12,300 tuning in, and we haven't even started yet. But we will be starting very, very shortly. Please do share the video. Get involved with That's Football. You're all very welcome. We're very excited about this. I'm hoping it's going to deliver like Amazon Prime, this game, even though it's not on Amazon Prime. I'm hoping it's going to deliver. I think the game yesterday was brilliant. The onus is on Arsenal. Onus, Arsenal, anus. Do you think... I'm just saying what I think. I need to stop. Do you think Arteta dyes his hair and has eyebrows? And his eyebrows is just sweet. I would say there's a very big chance that Mikel Arteta dyes his hair. Man to man, I think it's very rare at his age... And that colour of hair, that it would stay perfectly pristine, that colour. I'm a pretty much 90% here we go, he dyes his hair. I don't know whether he'd admit he dyes his hair, but I think he does. Unless it's like a Lego head where he just sticks it on his head and it's just a perfect wig. But it's the same hair he had at Everton. Sounds weird, doesn't it? He's not Lego head, is he? You don't change your head. It's the same hair that he had at... Anyway, what are we talking about? Let's get into the game. I've played the game. Let's go. Good luck tomorrow from a Liverpool fan. Thank you very much for that. We have started the game, by the way. Fern says, hello, Mark. Good luck from tomorrow from a Liverpool fan. How many spots in the Premier go to UEFA now? 8. Says Fern. In the Premier League, it's down to 7 at the moment. It will go down to 8 if Crystal Palace win. Right, Arsenal starting off on the front foot here. Here's Odegaard. You've got to start off well. You've got to start off with intent. Here's Saka. They've doubled up on him. And he tries to go past Mendes. Mendes defends well. Arsenal looking like they're starting on the front foot here. High intensity. And they've won it back again. They've got to... This is an encouraging first minute here from Arsenal. It's very much on the front foot. Shout out to the mods tonight as well. Fennec is in there. What year of jersey is your favourite from Man United? The one behind me, Ben. The Cantona one, 93. Early foul on... Martinelli there. Sorry, my live chat's just completely and utterly done itself here. Let me just get it back. Since when does Arsene Wenger think he decides who gets in the Champions League when he's never won it, says Martin. Great point, Martin. Great point. Yeah, this is an intense start to this game. Got a massive hole. This pocket is virtually irrelevant now. I've got the biggest hole in this pocket. It's like it's just so annoying. I prefer my right pocket. What pocket do you prefer? Right pocket or left pocket? I prefer my right pocket. I don't feel right in my left pocket. Since when does... thank you very much. Arsenal in down the right-hand side here. Decent cross. Marino! Oh, it was Rice as well. He's got to score that. Declan Rice has got to score that. It's a lovely cross by Timber. Did it come off the PSG defender? No. Rice so close. Would have been a dream start, that. Well, he's so close. He's almost, you know what? He's almost headed it too well. He's got up well. He's got his head on it. And it's just going towards the top corner, but just wide. But it's a good start by Arsenal. Look at Martinelli here. The intensity of Arsenal in these first few minutes is impressive. Very impressive. Is the hip improving, says Samuel? It feels a little bit better today than it did yesterday, which is, I'm sure, what some people would say is progress. Where's the Pope watch-along? Why, is something happening? Big throw into the box. Oh, what a save by Donnarumma. I can't believe it. How are Arsenal not in front? Is it going to be one of them nights? It's a shaky start from PSG. I think it might be Declan Rice again. Big throw into the box. Yeah, I mean, that one's less of a chance. He sort of pokes his foot at it. And it just hits Donnarumma's knee. Arsenal fans getting very excited in the chat. Make sure you share the video. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, you're all welcome on That's Football. We had a classic Champions League watch-along last night. We might have another one tonight. PSG looking a little bit shaky here. To be fair, they haven't done any attacking yet, so beware of that. But Arsenal have had a very good start. They're just really quick. Really quick. They can't lay a glove at the moment, PSG. Lovely ball by Odegaard. Out to Saka. They double up. Puts a cross in. Martinelli's on the back post. Takes a touch. Another good cross. Headed away by Mendes. And yeah, Arsenal win it back again. Please, please let Arsenal lose, says C. Moodley. Since when? Done that one from Martin. I just keep seeing that super chat. Sorry about Wenger. I've had my say. Mark, do you think that the Oasis concerts will enhance their legacy or the potential to destroy it, says Bill? I'm not going to any of them, actually. When do they start? I think it'll enhance their legacy, really. I think it just gets them into a new set of fans and you get to see them live, yeah. It's a bit like AI, isn't it? Well, it's not a bit like AI. I don't know what I'm talking about. But you know what I mean? It's just like appealing to a new audience. Very good start from Arsenal, but you want to score, don't you? You do want to. You do, though, don't you? You want to score. But they look the better team in the first 5 minutes. Here's Saka down the wing again. Cuts inside. Needs to find a pass. Loads of players around him. Martinelli's the ball. Yep, there it is. Here's Martinelli. He's going into the box. Past Hakimi. Cuts it back. Wins a corner, I think. Or is it a goal kick? Looks like a corner. Declan Rice is on it. He's got a good corner. Arsenal not necessarily the team they were on set pieces, but here it is. Declan Rice and Donnarumma's massive, and he palms that away for a throw-in. Partey's going to go long. Arsenal deserve a goal, you know, in the first few minutes. Bang! Oh, what a save by Donnarumma. Bloody hell. Odegaard. Oh, how are Arsenal not in front? He's absolutely smashed this bottom corner. I was ready to celebrate. I don't even support Arsenal. Oh, it's a great save. It's a great save. To get down that... Oh, that's magnificent. That is Pickford doesn't save that because he hasn't got he's not 6'8" and he ain't got big arms. That's a goal against Everton. No consolation. You're not going to be playing them in a semi-final of the Champions League. But to Arsenal's credit, that's a goal against Everton. I'm just saying. What a save. What a save. Arsenal should be winning this. It's an absolute rocket. I think he's broke his hand. Well, you know what? It's not always about what's going on up top. Sometimes it's about what's going on down there. And At the moment, this is fantastic from PSG. Their reserve goalkeeper is warming up. Either that or he's doing a crap dance. Is it a he? Yeah. Got a beard. I didn't know for a minute. I don't have the sound on. It was somebody doing this with a ponytail. Could have been a girl. Do you think the big clubs have their best players to FIFA World Cup? Says Nicholas. Yes. Well, Donnarumma's down here. I think he'll be all right. I know how he feels. I was in goal once, and Ben Foster said, "Can I take some shots against you?" He can hit that. I mean, I don't know why I didn't think it through. Goalkeepers can kick the ball quite hard. Bottom corner, went to make a fingertip save, nearly lost 3 of my fingertips. Absolutely killed. So I sympathise with Donnarumma there. Can you please say, Shreyan, where are the... Borrow it for my buddy Shreyan. I don't know what that means, gang, Leinster, so I don't really want to say something that might be rude. Do you think that... done that one from Bill. Another corner to Arsenal. They've started fantastically well. I think what I would say is this start from Arsenal has definitely put to bed any accusations if they can't do it and their bottle jobs, because they've started fantastically well. Fantastically well. 22,000 watching. Please keep sharing the video. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Arsenal have been brilliant in the first 10 minutes here. I've got to say they have. But they need a goal that will change the game. There's no point being brilliant and not scoring. It's Odegaard again. It's a good block. Cross is good. Edge of the box. Arsenal still pushing. Yeah. He says play on. Oh my God, this could be controversial because PSG get a breakaway. Did look like a foul, but it's going to be a first attack. Hakimi. And yeah, Raya will get that. Yeah, there's no point having a brilliant start and not getting a goal. It's like going out on a night out, good aftershave, good hair, clothes, everything's going on. You're going out on the pull. You come home with a bucket of chicken. But they are bottle jobs. They bottle it everywhere, always from a United fan, says Storm. Please don't compare what we did in Paris with them doing it. We ain't equals. Okay, a little bit over the top, mate, because this is a Champions League semi-final and that wasn't even a quarter-final. So as much as I, would love to back you on that one as a United fan, I think you probably should have thought it through. I didn't realise Arsenal had Stoke City-style throw-ins. They're causing havoc, says Nick P. Oh, come on. It's not a foul. Fair play, ref. Don't want to see fouls given for that. Fair play to the referee there. I can't stand it when defenders do that. When they've got the ball in the corner and they feel the slightest touch from an attacker and they just go down and the referee goes free kick. Fair play to the ref for not giving that. Did you ever see yourself supporting Arsenal, Marks, as Super Donut? No, I hated Arsenal growing up. George Graham, boring. And I didn't like them when Wenger was there because they were our big rival. Who do you want to win? Well, 69% of you, again, this is the same as last night. 69% said Barca were going to win and 31% said Inter were going to win. Well, 69% of you tonight are saying PSG and 31% are saying Arsenal. If you're an Arsenal fan, that could be a good sign because that is exactly what happened yesterday. And obviously Inter won. Who do I want to win? I just want a good game. I think last night whet my appetite as a lover of football to just enjoy a game of football. And I don't really want to come into this game with picking a team. I just want to see a good game, really. Also, if PSG are going to win, I want them to look like a team that's worthy. I mean, from the first 12 minutes here, you'd fancy Inter, wouldn't you? What's your go-to chicken and chips order, says Dr. Poopy. Is that not an order in itself? I do like chicken kebab meat and chips. I haven't had it for ages, though. What anyone has failed to mention is United's pathway into the Champions League has nothing to do with our current league position. It's fruits of our labour from last season. Exactly. Fernando, the Wenger take has caused a lot of debate, but it's a stupid take. Hoping for Inter to win football and save football, says DV. Another big throw-in by Arsenal. Here's Partey. Odegaard. Had a good start, Odegaard. Looks a lot sharper than he has done for weeks. Too early for me to say Odegaard's back, but he looks like the Odegaard I like. And then he misses places to pass. I'm sorry. That's on me. The minute I start saying a player's doing well, they normally lose the ball. Arsenal don't need to be too gung-ho, though. They are dominating, but there's a long way to go. Just keep in control of the game. Lovely ball. Lovely ball again to Timber and into Saka. And good defending. Kvaratskhelia being very careful with Saka there. Did not want to be grabbing his legs and in the penalty box. That would be rugby. What colour socks are you wearing today, Mark? Says Jack. Guess in the chat and I'll shout out if you get it. I don't know whether... Well, somebody will get it because there's enough people to get it. But was there ever a goalkeeper that you felt deserved to win a Ballon d'Or? Says Zero Connection. I'll tell you what, the first person who got it was Nicholas Christiansen. He said grey. So did Screw Edits. And you know what? Fair play to the people who said grey, because it's the first time I've wore a pair of grey socks this year. And the only reason I wore them is because all my black socks and my white socks were in the wash. So I was in the bottom of the sock drawer. And all that was left was odd socks, football socks, and then I found this pair of grey socks. So I thought, you know what? They'll do. I'm not really going out anywhere. Here's Martinelli. Declan Rice is going to make a run. Moreno moving the ball so well, Arsenal. Odegaard. Oh, he just misses the pass there again. Was there ever a goalkeeper that deserved to win the Ballon d'Or, says Zero Connection? In my lifetime, I think Buffon was probably good enough to win the Ballon d'Or. Some people might say Manuel Neuer, Peter Schmeichel, Van der Sar. These would all be goalkeepers that I think were worthy. Has a goalkeeper ever won the Ballon d'Or? There's a question. I mean, I don't study the Ballon d'Or, you know. I don't go to bed at night going to Mrs. Goldbridge. Just before we get down to it, watching Beyond Paradise, test me on the Ballon d'Or. 3 random years from 1990 to 2020. Who won the Ballon d'Or in 2001? Good one. I would say probably Ronaldinho. I don't know. Yashin won it. Has it been going for that long? Here's Kvaratskhelia. No! Oh, he's at the post. Oh, my God. This game, PSG's first meaningful attack, and he's hit wood. Kvaratskhelia hits the post. That's, well, it wouldn't be game over because the way the game's going, we've still got 75 minutes left. But would have been a big, big goal, that. Big, big goal. Nicholas says, I can see you. Cheers, mate. Well done on the grey socks. What colour pants are you wearing, Mark? Says David. Well, you can guess that, or am I wearing any? When you get to the age where you've got to grasp. Oh, I do. I am wearing some. Bonus. I'd know if I wasn't. Everything's tightly packed in. Joe Hart robbed of the Ballon d'Or, says Sifo. Casillas deserved one. Good shout, Shane, as well. Casillas. Yeah, great shot by Kvaratskhelia here. Raya was beaten all ends up. And this just shows you how dangerous PSG are. It's just a lovely attack. Gets it wide to him. Yeah, it would have been a great goal. I think he thinks he scored as well. Raya doesn't get anywhere near it. Good game. Good game. Navy blue I'm wearing. Timber's injured. Yellow card. Didn't see the tackle because I was telling you what colour my pants are. You don't get this with Beckham. Although he probably has got pants you can buy. It's been a very good start to this game, actually. 20 minutes have flown by. Arsenal started off really well, but it's PSG who've gone closest. Yeah, it's a foul. It's a foul. It's nothing more. I don't even think it's a yellow card, really. You think he accidentally stands on Timber's foot, but he has got a yellow card because it was painful. Between the two teams, I don't care. The one I think would make a better football watch with Inter would be Arsenal, but do want Inter to win it all, says Kwen. I think Arsenal against Arsenal against Inter would be a good game, but I think Inter against PSG would be a good game as well. Martinelli goes for a shot. And they're going to break away here, but Lewis Skelly's fast. And he's done well, very well. What a season he's having. Very well played there. Timber into Odegaard. And he's a little bit wasteful there again. But Timber with the return. Odegaard into Saka. They're really doubling up on him. It's a good tackle by Neves. Who wins? 100 Mark Goldbridges or 1,000,000 ants, says Charlie. Well, we're definitely going to win, aren't we? Just stamp on them. You know how to beat 1,000,000 ants? You just got to jump. Don't stand still and they'll run up your legs. Just jump. Be jumping around like that. Don't even jump. Just go like that. 100 of you. March, 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 march. Be over in seconds. Yashin won the Ballon d'Or in the 60s, says James Mahuti. Sorry to bring it up again, but I still think the Premier League is key for us to keep momentum, says Dean H. For who? Key for who? Yashin, 63, won it, says Jason. And Constantine says, I've been battling tendonitis pain for 2 months in my right ankle. Also have a plate and screw from a surgery done 10 years ago. I've gone to physical therapy a month now. My mental health is bad, says Constantine. Sorry to hear that, pal. Pain, isn't it? It's the trouble with injury is, I've had it with my hip this week. It really can get you down. And that's not because you can't stand up. Like, back pain's a pain as well. I tell you what, I tell you the worst pain I've had for really impacting my mental health. Neck pain. Neck pain really does make you feel down. What about flying ants? Oh, yeah. Here's Odegaard. Still Odegaard. He's got a pass. He does to Declan Rice. Oh, what a game this is. What a game this is. It's a corner to Arsenal. What a game. Loving it. What a game. Really is. You know what's making it a great game? It's the intensity of it. The intensity of the game is so fast. If Arsenal were defensive and slow at the Emirates, I'd say Arsenal were in, like, speed-wise, 2nd and 3rd gear last week. They're in 5th gear here. Would you rather get drafted in World War III or restart life, says Superdonor? I'm not doing these politics. Probably isn't politics, but I'm just not doing those sort of things. Football's an escapism and an enjoyment. Oh, I thought that was going to be a good cross, but Donnarumma's got it. Kvaratskhelia would be a good United number 7, says Hasha. He definitely would. Stanley Matthews was the first winner of the Ballon d'Or, says Mark. Of course he was. Of course he was, because if I remember correctly, Duncan Edwards, who tragically passed away after the Munich air disaster in '58, I think he came in the top 3 in the Ballon d'Or as a teenager in '57, or maybe it was '58, one of the two. Thank you very much, Mark Holder, for that super chat, by the way. Appreciate it. We're nearly at 30,000 watching, but I tell you what, this could be problems for Arsenal. No, they've messed that up. Why did he not pass? Why did he not pass? Doué got the ball from Barcola, drew the 2 defenders. I think there's a simple... Barcola does really well intercepting the pass. He plays it to Doué, and Doué just got to slip him back. Why did he not pass? If he'd passed to Barcola then, he'd have had a really easy chance. PSG are the Tottenham of Europe. They're going to bottle it, says Junkyard. I hope Arsenal do. I hope Spurs do bottle it tomorrow night. I hope we don't bottle it and Spurs do. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that want to see a Spurs-Man United final. Obviously, it's got more interest for the neutral. But as a United fan, I don't want to play an English team in the final. That Chelsea final in '08... It was just stressful. It's just worse if you lose. It's bad enough losing anyway, but it's worse if you lose. I mean, I've seen United lose 2 Champions League finals to Barcelona, and they were hard to deal with. But if it had been to Arsenal or Chelsea or someone like that, it would have been or Liverpool, would even worse. Here's Martinelli. Into Odegaard. He's looking good. Out to Luis Skelly. Puts the cross in. It's not a good cross. It's a nervous cross. And Mendes wins a free kick. Yeah, I'll be on United stand tomorrow night for that watch along. When it matters. Pick one player from each semi-final team for four-a-side, says Matthew. I've never heard of bloody four-a-side. Can't I just pick one player from each team that I'd take at Man United? Arsenal, Rice. Don't talk to me about Saka because I've got a plan. Arsenal, Rice. Barcelona, Yamal, so I don't need Saka. Rice. That leaves Inter. Inter, I think I might go for Dumfries, you know. And then PSG. I'm tempted to go with Neves or Vitinha or Donnarumma. Great tackle by Odegaard. He's having a very good game. Here's Saka. He's given the ball away. Should have played the pass there. How did your dad feel after the 08 final, says Tapping Merchant? I don't remember. We didn't spend it together. Who wins? One polar bear against 100 marks. And I'm not reading your name, it's rude. Dixon, first name. Second name, Mias. For United, Mark, we spoke on the Brentford game, says Dean H. No, I don't think United need to worry about the Premier League, to be honest. 25 minutes gone and it's flown by. Tottenham are the Tottenham of Europe, says Nelly. Tottenham are very, very rarely in Europe. Good interception, and that's going to be a free kick. Declan Rice on Kvaratskhelia, and he's going to get booked as well. Can you be out the final? What do you think of the leaked Man United kits for next season, says MUFC? I don't really, haven't seen them, to be honest. That's definitely a yellow card for Declan Rice. He's basically, he's scissor tackled him there. Not in a, he has scissor, that's a yellow card. I can't argue with that. Knock, knock, knock. That's Enrique. I don't like to see managers doing that. Grow up, mate. Nuno Mendes from PSG, says Mrs. Stone. Nicholas says, Bodo Glimt's odds have dropped today and are almost favourites to win. They're very good, aren't they? I mean, I'm going to have a double watch-along on tomorrow. Obviously, mainly Man United. I don't think it was a red card from Declan Rice. I don't think it was... I mean, I know scissor tackles, I hate them. But I don't think it was that bad a scissor tackle, but it was definitely a yellow card. Please keep sharing the video. We've nearly got 30k watching already. Thank you very much for tuning in. That's football. You're very welcome. Cross comes in from PSG. Headed away to the edge of the box. You've got to be quick. What a goal. Ruiz. What a goal. And there's not a lot Arsenal can do about that. That is an absolute banger. I said that. The cross came in. The cross came in. And Arsenal clear it. But there's no one on the edge of the box. And they don't close it down quick enough. And to be fair, Ruiz gets time to get it off his chest and bang it in on the half volley. It's a lovely goal. It's a big goal. And you know what? I feel bad for Arsenal because I think they've played very well in this game. But look at that. It's headed out by Partey. Martinelli is there, but it's weak. That's weak from Martinelli. I didn't realise there was a player even there. Saliba tries to get out and put his body on the line. But Martinelli, that is so weak. It's a winger's tackle, that. But it's a lovely hit. What a hit that is by Ruiz. Is it bye-bye for Arsenal? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It makes it very hard. This is what I mean, though. Arsenal started really well, didn't score. First goal was always going to be key because that crowd's rocking now. PSG are going to be feeling very confident. Their job gets even harder for Arsenal. It's a shame for the game because Arsenal started off so well, but their heads are going to drop a little bit now. The camera keeps panning to Declan Rice. He knows he's made the mistake. I don't know that Declan Rice makes the mistake. I think the pass to Declan Rice is a bit of a hospital pass that forces him to have to tackle. Martinelli, that should have gone to Odegaard way before. Cross comes in. Saliba. Now Saka. They need to get one back. It's not over. Arsenal just need the next goal. Imagine if PSG win it the year Mbappe left, says Hash. Oh, what the hell is going on here? This could be 2. What a save by Raya. What a save by Raya from Barcola. That would have been it. I don't know how Arsenal keep doing this. It's just one ball out. One ball out from the back. It was a great ball to Kvaratskhelia. They do everything right. Barcola does brilliantly. But fair play to Declan Rice. I mean, Declan Rice makes a great recovery tackle as well. Goes for a corner. That is game over. If PSG go 3-0 ahead, the crowd becomes an incinerator and Arsenal just melt away. But their heads are up now for PSG. It's annoying in a way. It's annoying because PSG are full of themselves now. They're absolutely full of themselves, and it wouldn't have been the case if Arsenal had scored. Trust the bottle, says Mrs. Stone. Arsenal couldn't score at home. Not scoring 2 here, says 1 inch. Any door gives away, says Dickinson. Bottlers, says Mrs. Stone. Scholes missed 99 final, right? Says your boy. What Ye did. What do you think of the leaked Man United kit? We've done that one, haven't we? Can Arsenal return to what they were doing in the first 20 minutes? Can they get their composure back? I think Odegaard's had his best game for Arsenal in weeks. Difficult now. They were doing a good job at 1-0, but this is difficult now. Really difficult. 31,000. Thanks everyone who's watching. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. What a Declan Rice recovery there was brilliant, by the way. People, you know what though? People can say, what are Arsenal doing? They have to attack. In fairness, they have to attack, don't they? So, you know, you can say, what are they doing defensively? They keep getting caught out. But they've got to commit players. They have to. So PSG probably will get more opportunities like that. I only have £2 in my bank account, says Jinx. What are you doing spending it on a super chat, mate? Cheers, pal. Saka into Timber. Rice. Marino. Wide. I mean, statistically speaking, let's have a look. Arsenal 60% possession, 6 shots to 4, 2 on target to 3, 3 corners to 1. It's been good from Arsenal. It has been good, but it's not been good enough. I've got to say, PSG at the moment have ridden their luck a little bit, but they're so dangerous on the break. I certainly don't think if you're an Arsenal fan, you can moan too much about the way that Arsenal have approached the first leg. Sorry, the second leg. I think first leg you could say, you know, there's questions to answer, of course, but second leg, I think they've played well. Tomorrow, Mark, are Arsenal still bigger than Chelsea, with Chelsea on the verge of completing 3 major European trophies before Arsenal have any? That was from Max. Well, how's about I don't get involved in these conversations that I don't even like, and you, the chat, can do it, and then I can comment on it. Who is the bigger club, Arsenal or Chelsea? Vote in the chat. Thank you very much for that, Max. Who do you think will win the Champions League playoff, Mark? I've been told it'll be Coventry by a West Brom player I met yesterday. Where is Zane B? Mr. Arsenal used to talk okay. A lot of smack on United stand. Zane Miassi. David Green. Imagine if Arsenal had a striker, says Jimmy. Aston Villa felt like they did a better job versus PSG, says Mrs. Stone. I think Arsenal have played well in this tie. You have to admire PSG. They should shifted the big earners and egos, then spent well. It's not rocket science, is it, Ineos, says Harvey Specter. Tomorrow is set for Spurs banter. They're going to disrespect. They're going to deepest Norway. Can see Ange blaming the pitch. Please, can we have it on in the background? Yes, 100%, Nick, 100%. Does the Europa League, Conference League actually count as a trophy? What's a bigger trophy, the Europa Conference League or the Community Shield? Chelsea are actually a bigger club so far, 53%. Saka, nice bit of play. Declan Rice. And do you think Arsenal should change their sponsor? It says King, 7th. I don't know who that is, so I can't read it. Oh, God. I'm not yawning. I did yawn. Where is Lord Bentner when you need him, says 1 Inch Wonder. And Enrique has a chance to win his second treble, equalising Pep's record, says Sebi. Moreno does well. Into the path of Rice. Went for the shot. Here's Odegaard. He's going to have to use Martinelli. Done well, Martinelli. Done very well. Quick feet. Back post. Headed away. Timber. To be fair, PSG are defending very well. They've set up brilliantly. And it just shows you Enrique is a bit like David Brent. Strings to my bow. They've played defensively very, very compact, and then they've countered very dangerously. I did wonder how PSG might approach this game. And, well, we've seen how they've approached it. Well in Saliba. Thanks for your super chat, Sebi. Talking about Sebi, my lad Seb was saying today, in 2 weeks' time, it's the Europa League final and we will probably be in it. We've got a 20% chance of being in it, but it's a 100% chance it's a school night. Can I stay up till 10? I said, mate, if it was up to me, yes. You do wonder what could have been if Arsenal had approached the game the same way at the Emirates. I do think they were a little bit too conservative. They didn't really... I don't know why they've got the brief here and they didn't have the brief. Maybe it's just not having Thomas Partey. I mean, answers on a postcard to that. But Arsenal have approached this game perfectly well. The intensity, the speed. Yeah, they miss a striker, but you almost can't say that anymore. But I don't know why they didn't approach the first game like this. Oh, I'll let Seb stay up, definitely, 100%. The way Man United are now, you never know when they'll win a big trophy again. Saka's got to pass that. Odegaard. Oh, just... I really want to get some epic drama like last night. We need an Arsenal goal next. Juve are bottlers. They lost 7 Champions League finals, says Michael Glynn. Oh, Lewis Skelly's lost it in a dangerous position. Doué. Oh, God, could have gone anywhere. Timber clears it. Marino and Odegaard loses that. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Poll for letting Seb watch the game. He will be watching the game. If we get there. Arsenal. Who is the bigger club? Arsenal are on 49%. Chelsea are on 51%. Fair play to Max, who came up with that question. Moreno, good ball into Rice. Needs a ball wide. You've got to attack that space. Get it into Saka now. Good ball. Here's Saka. Bit of space. He's going to get doubled up on very quickly. He needs some help. He needs some help. He's got to pass. Odegaard into Timber. Put it in first time. Good cross. No. They're defending very well, PSG. That's going to go there. Martinelli's going to have to track against Hakimi. I'd love to see Hakimi in the Prem. What United flop midfielders could fit our current system, says Marin. What United flops midfielders could fit in our current system? I need a little bit more than that. Do you think if we win the Europa League, we should loan out Rasmus as Kisser? No, we need 2 strikers. We should buy a striker. What defines a big club? Trophies? Nah, I don't think it's that simple, Hughes, lad. I think there's a multitude of things. Longevity, fan base, reputation. I mean, look, if we're doing it on trophies, then Man City's a bigger club than everybody in the last decade, and we all know that's not true. So it can't all just be about trophies. Saka with the cross. Oh, again. Again, you know, that's a striker, isn't it? Moreno's not a striker. I mean, you're putting that cross in there. I know it's not always the reason Arsenal don't win games, but I think tonight it very much is. If they had a striker, I think it'd be a different story. Have you read the fan fiction about you and the dolphin? Sifo, I do not know what that's all about. Which team has the worst badge in football, says Jimmy. I never liked Wigan's badge for some reason. What about people comparing Saka to Antony, says Sebastian? Stupid people, yeah. Yeah, that's just recency bias. Lovely ball into Saka. He's got to do something quick here because PSG are going to get their players back. He's took too long. Oh, it nearly came back. Again, good defending by PSG. 2 minutes to go to half-time. We're in Paris, aren't we? Have a pint on me, says Adash. Thank you very much. Here's the breakaway for PSG again. It's Barcola. Into Doué. Pass one. Good shot. He'll pick it up again. And there's a head injury here, so that'll be the end of that. You can't moan about that, Doué. It's the rules. It's the rules. If Arsenal lose tonight, says Ross, do you think Arteta will be at Arsenal next season, or do you think he'll get another season to improve the team more? Mate, Ross, thanks for the super chat. Can I just ask why you think there's a cat in hell's chance that Arteta will get sacked? It's just a fan fiction. There is absolutely not even 5% chance that he gets sacked. He's not getting sacked. Their director of football, Berta, has got players lined up for the summer as part of the Arteta project. He's not getting sacked. I don't know. I don't think even the Arteta out crew think he's getting sacked. They just want him to get sacked. He will be given next season, and I think in a year's time, if they were in a similar position of finishing second or third and not winning the Champions League, I think that's the point where you might look at it and go. But even then, I don't think Arsenal would sack. That's the thing. It's not my club, so it doesn't matter. But I would send this message to the Arteta out brigade. He ain't going anywhere this summer, and you know it. And next season, if you finish second and get to the semi-final, I don't think they'll sack him then. I think they've invested too much in him to abandon ship. Chelsea and Arsenal are still 50-50, George, so I can't do Martin Tyler against Darren Fletcher, but surely it's Martin Tyler. Martin Saunders says, Mark, usual story with owners and their boardroom teams. They seem clueless and surely one of them knows how to fix a problem if millions of fans do, says Martin Saunders. What, we're talking Arsenal, Man United here? I mean, I've spoke to Robbie a few times on this channel about Arsenal, and I'm sure he said it a lot on his own, but he's been frustrated all season at the owners for not buying a striker, and you can understand why. Rice should have passed that. Should have passed that sooner. Here's Saka. This is going to be right before half-time. It's a good cross again. Where's the bloody striker? I tell you what, that's it. I can't believe Arsenal fans don't say the striker thing isn't true. I mean, that cross, it's like it's the invisible man. That cross from Saka again is perfect. He knows it's perfect. He knows it's exactly where a striker should be. And yet again, the only person there is bloody Patrick Swayze from Ghost. What's your opinion on Tifos, says Lil Drummer Boy. I think they're a bit hipster, aren't they? I do like them, but they are. I'm going to have a Malbec tomorrow too, Mark, says Adash. Yeah, Danny Malbec. Danny Malbec. I'm looking forward to it. I need to sit down. Half time. I might sit over here. Just do it sort of in the background. Yeah, it was a good half, but I'm just chilling out. I should have a little table here with a drink. You know, hi, yeah, it's a good half. Half time. Thoughts on that half? Half time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're getting very close to 325,000. We're only 10 away. So please subscribe, get involved. Bottom right-hand corner with That's Football YouTube channel. You're all very welcome. Whoever you support, whatever your leanings are, and wherever you're from in the world, you're very welcome. Apart from Switzerland. No, I'm only joking. Everyone likes the Swiss. What are the Swiss famous for? Roger Federer and chocolate and cheese. Tonight and dodgy bank accounts. I don't know about that. Anyway, half time. Thoughts on that half. My thoughts on that half are that, you know, and I might not fit in with the anti-Arteta Arsenal negativity, which I'm sure many of them are screaming and shouting, as is their right as supporters of that football club. But my opinion is this. I think Arsenal, yet again, are going to fall short because they don't have a striker. Maybe there has been times this season that that's not been the case. But every time I look at Arsenal, I think they'd be closer to Liverpool in the title race. And I think they'd be in the final if they had a striker. And this game, to me, is absolute Exhibit A, Your Honour. This is Exhibit A. I've seen Saka put 3 crosses in that a striker would be on the end of, or expect a striker to be on the end of. PSG have effectively done a smash and grab. They've scored a really good goal from a set piece, and then they've had a couple of breakaways. Arsenal have dominated against a PSG side that is actually defending and counter-attacking. I think Arsenal have played really well, and I think that the shame and difference in this game compared to last night is that Arsenal can't convert their dominance into goals. And when I say dominance, there is a bit of a retainer. I'm not saying they should be 4-0 up, but I certainly don't think they should be losing 1-0. I think it should be 2-1. And it is PSG's game plan, Lamb, and I like it. I like how adaptable Enrique is. But Enrique's game plan is only working because Arsenal have been wasteful. That's what I'm saying. It's not brilliant defending every time. They have defended well, but there's also been opportunities where Arsenal just don't have a striker getting into the position, like that cross just before half-time. But overall, I think it's Odegaard's best game in weeks. I think their midfield has been fantastic. Obviously, Moreno is doing his best. Saka is getting doubled up on. Martinelli, I'm never too sure about, and I think he was at fault for the goal. But their midfield has been really good. Their defence has been very ambitious and driven the team up. And I think, realistic, they deserve to be at least level. But they can't put the ball in the back of the net. They've had 10 shots, only 2 on target. PSG have had more on target from half the amount of shots. So, fair play to PSG. They're playing the game, and they're playing it very, very well. And they're cruising into the final at the moment. But I don't think it's over. I genuinely think Arsenal have been the better side, and they've just got to keep going. And if they get 1, they could get 2, and we could head towards extra time again. So I would applaud Arsenal as a neutral. I don't mind who wins, but I would applaud Arsenal. I thought the first 10 minutes was very impressive. Their intensity, their desire, their dominance of the ball. I didn't expect that. I think the big mistake is, and Emery made mistakes taking off Rashford and McGinn, but I think their big mistake is the way they approach the home leg. They should, if they'd approached the home leg like this, I think it'd have been a different story. The intensity and speed of Arsenal in that first half was gear 5, and at the Emirates it was gear 3. I don't know why they didn't go for it in that sense, but you have to admire PSG. I mean, look, let's not forget it's 1-0 to PSG, but Kvaratskhelia hit the post. They've defended, absorbed and countered, and the danger for Arsenal is they've just got to keep going, but there's a good chance PSG could get the second. And if Arsenal go out of this game, it will be because they've not converted chances. They even had chances at the Emirates, didn't they? I don't know how you could have justified a draw at the Emirates, but they did have chances at the Emirates. And I said this though, didn't I? I did say I worried about Arsenal in this game because if you think about the Madrid game, 2 of those goals were worldies. Those 2 free kicks from Declan Rice were worldies. You can't do that every round. So what we've basically got is the reality. Arsenal can't score goals. Unless they're going to get a couple of worldy free kicks, they're not going to score the goals that they need. And I said that way before the semi-final. I worry about whether Arsenal can put the ball in the back of the net. And lo and behold, this is the problem. And, Andrea Berta, Arteta, and more importantly, the ownership have got to go out and back this manager. Because I think if they add a striker to that team, they're not going to be far away next season. They've got to do it. I've got no skin in the game, says Masha. My Rioja is ready for Manana. However, Arsenal need Al Pacino in that dressing room, inch by inch, any given Sunday. How do you know about our dodgy bank accounts, says Little Drummer Boy. I've watched The Wolf of Wall Street, that's why. What a film that is. Everybody loves us in Switzerland, so Stego. We do get a lot of people watching from Switzerland. Hope you're doing well. Make sure you subscribe. How can Arsenal score when PSG has a giant in goal? Oh, NAU. Oh, what a save. What a save that was by Donnarumma from Odegaard. Just thank you for reminding me of that. Please sit away from the walls, says Ardesh. If you know, you know. No, they're screwed in now. No Arsenal manager in second place will get the sack, says Richard Cahill. Donnarumma is the reason PSG are going to win the Champions League, says Random. Donald, thanks for your super chat. Where's Shamak when you need him, says 1 Inch Wonder. What happened to Shamak? Is he retired now? He always seemed quite young, didn't he? He was French, wasn't he, as well? What does hipster mean when you say it, and is it a good thing or a bad thing? I'm guessing it means something that's new to the world, says Robel. No, how do you define a hipster? Basically, a hipster is somebody who takes football and overanalyzes it and tries to make it something that's not universal. They try to make it complicated, and they try to make it something that you really need to study and study to understand their brilliance. That's what a hipster is. They take the world's most simple and beautiful game and try to, make out that it's code for a website and that only they've got the answers. That's what a hipster is. When actually, football is really universal. I listen to Seb, who's 7, talk about football, and he'll come up with a good take. So, look, that's what a hipster is. They think they've got the secret code. Jack, thanks for being a member for 10 months. Appreciate that. What's the worst job you've ever had, says Janny. Cheese factory. I don't mind cheese, but the smell of it making it was disgusting. And I used to have to cycle 2 miles in the dark with no lights on my bike. Just think, if I'd got hit by a lorry, there'd be no That's Football. See, people are saying now we were that close. Do you play... I'm not reading that, Shreem. You've tried it 3 times in a row, and I ain't stupid. They should sign Delap, says Corey Lineker. If you know, you know. Appreciate that. Can Arsenal get back into it in the second half, Mark? Yes. I think the game's alive until it goes 3-0. But my big problem is they just can't put the ball in the back of it. Laura Woods is back. Well done. I mean, she's not the first woman to have a baby, but what I meant to say is welcome back. If Donnarumma's a giant, what the hell is Milinkovic-Savic? Yeah, Donnarumma's 6'5", and Milinkovic-Savic, who is the goalkeeper United have been linked to from Torino, is 6'8". Arsenal much bigger historically, however Chelsea more recent cups. Right, I'm closing the poll. Arsenal won 51% to Chelsea, 49% on who is the bigger club. Look, I think it's Arsenal. I think they've got the better stadium. I think they've got a better history. I think they've got the better reputation. And yes, Chelsea have had more recent success and they've won 2 Champions Leagues. But I would say it's Arsenal. In my lifetime, I would say Arsenal are the bigger club. I think if you're a bit younger, you might say Chelsea. I think if you're in your 20s, you'd say Chelsea. It might be an age thing. But ultimately, I don't think it massively matters, really. Because somebody was trying this with Liverpool and Man United the other day. And I was like, I don't care who the bigger club is. It doesn't really matter to me. I look at where we are as a football club, and Liverpool are way better than us. And that's where I want to be. And I think Chelsea probably look at Arsenal and say, we don't want to be in a Conference League final. We want to be in a Champions League final fighting for a title. So I doubt Chelsea fans really care about being the bigger club. Yeah. I remember when Laura Woods was on the TUS show. Yeah, I remember that, yeah. Mark's a closet Arsenal fan. No, I'm not a closet Arsenal fan. What it is that there's people in the world who can't deal with unbiased opinion. Because I get accused of being a Liverpool fan, a Chelsea fan, an Arsenal fan, and it's always when I come out with an opinion that is level-headed and not biased and based on rivalry. I just enjoy football, and I don't subscribe to the view that if Arsenal lose this game, it should be Arteta out, because I think they played really well, and it's very obvious to me that if they had a striker, they might not win the league. next year. They might not win the Champions League, but as somebody who's watched football all my life, I look at that Arsenal side and go, if they had a striker, they'd probably win that game. So why, as an owner, would I go, if we had a striker, we might have won that game. You're sacked. Let's start again. I'd go, get a striker and let's see what happens next season. And I think football is very simple, and I think that that will happen. And look, as much as people will go, shut up, Goldbridge, it's got nothing to do with you, a striker won't change anything. That's your opinion. Chill your blood pressure. I'm calmly saying, I think with a striker, Arsenal next season have got a great chance of winning the league. And that's what you want to do. And then you can stop moaning. Isak would be fantastic. Liak. I think Gyökeres is a good player to be linked to. Osman would probably be a good player as well. It's got to be the right striker. Sesko looks good. I'm not sure he's the right striker. Watkins would be good short term. Obviously the age. But I don't think you need to be that picky. You get the best you can get. You go and get the best you can get. But I genuinely think a striker who can put the ball in the back of the net regularly and knows where to be. Harry Kane, Lewandowski, Ollie Watkins, Isak would be good. I mean, how crap could this? I mean, I don't want to say crap, but how low a level striker could Arsenal win the league with? You know, I know he's not the player now, but even someone like Ivan Toney a year ago would have made a difference. Like, I don't think it needs to be a world beater. If you can get a world beater, great. But they just need a guy who can put the ball in the back of the net on the regular. Even that Thuram for Inter might not be the world's best striker, but I think it would make a massive difference for them. It's just having a specialist. Jesus is not a specialist striker. Havertz is not a specialist striker. Moreno is certainly not a specialist striker. They just need somebody who can score them 20 Premier League goals a season. Is it just me, or have Arsenal tried doing to PSG what Bournemouth did to them with the long throw-ins? I can't remember seeing them doing them before, says Dead. It's the return of the towel and the long throw, isn't it? Brentford were doing it to us at the weekend. Wicked Brew says, I'm a Chelsea fan. Conference League is the only one we don't have. Rather be in the Champions League, but we might own every trophy that exists soon, says Wicked Brew. Yeah, well, the Conference League is basically the Cup Winners' Cup, isn't it? I think I've done myself a hernia. Or what have I done? How can you do that? Sat down. I felt it about 2 minutes ago. Oh, no, it's a pen in my pocket. Oh, God. Get that out. No, it was something poking. I thought I'd done myself a hernia sitting down. Sorry, Wicked Brew. Yeah, the Conference League is the Cup Winners' Cup, isn't it? So, yeah, you know, we've done a lot. We've won it all. We won the Cup Winners' Cup. We've won the Europa League, UEFA Cup. We've won the Champions League, Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup. So, they're the six, really, aren't they? If you've won the League Cup, the FA Cup, the League, the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Cup Winners' Cup, or the Europa, you've done the lot. Yeah. I don't. You know, if somebody says to me the Cup Winners' Cup is not the Conference League, so it's not the clean sweep, are we having a laugh? Are we actually having a laugh? Like, are we actually saying that if Liverpool haven't won the Conference League, they're not as good as Chelsea? I mean, you've got to be shit to be in the Conference League. Super Cup probably just about count that. I need a new plaster on here. Slice my finger again. Players coming out for the second half. Sean from Ireland says, I think even Rasmus would make a difference for Arsenal. How many more years can Arteta survive without a trophy, says Sebi. I think next season's got to be the season, really, hasn't it? I don't know whether they'd sack him if he didn't win a trophy. As I said, I'm not sure they would. But I really do think that it's not even because he's going to get the sack. The big concern is cycles. If Arsenal were to finish second again next year, that's 4 years finishing second. Not many teams cycle beyond 5 years. So you're going to miss the boat, aren't you? Game starting in 5 seconds. I know. I'm just waiting for the timer. Players are on the pitch. Arteta's not looking as confident. He has got a few grey hairs. He might not actually dye his hair. Or it could just be a few strays. Odegaard's about to start it. Big 45 minutes for Arsenal. This is their season. It'll be an annoying trip to Anfield on Sunday if they haven't won this. Another reminder of a failure. Arsenal need Casemiro and a Maguire up front, says Tiss. Would Højlund be a good signing for Juventus, says Yusuf. I don't want you to get Rasmus. Thank you very much for that. I think Arsenal should steal Delap. Most important thing is Arsenal stay in the game here. If PSG get the third, there won't be enough time. Well, you're not coming back from 3-0 anyway. Famous last words as United are 3-0 up tomorrow. Yeah, this is making me feel a little bit more confident about United tomorrow, because if PSG were 3-0 up, it would be over, wouldn't it? So it's a big lead, 3-0, isn't it? Got a lot of leeway in a 3-0 lead. What about Mateta at Arsenal's age? Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's the striker they should be going for. They should be going for the best they can get, but I do agree. Mateta would be a good signing. Oh, Rice has lost it again. Oh, he's given the free kick, and it wasn't Rice, it was Moreno. Keep getting Moreno and Rice mixed up. Very similar running style, very similar height, and very similar haircut. Operating in very similar areas. Robbo96, hope you're doing well, says maybe Arteta's to blame for the lack of a striker. The ownership have backed him, but he prioritised Havertz and sharing managerial duties with the set-piece coach. Also, Isak won't downgrade from a club that actually wins trophies, says Robbo. I think you're right on the Havertz thing, but if you listen to what Arteta said at the start of February, he wanted a striker in January and was very disappointed he didn't get one. So, you know, you do have to look at that. Well done, Saliba. Brilliant. Saliba's played brilliantly. Such a good defender, isn't he? And they have missed Gabriel as well, but well, I say they've missed Gabriel. You're going to miss a player like Gabriel, of course, but I think they've coped quite well without Gabriel. It's the goals they miss. That's a lovely ball. It really is a great ball into Timber. And he goes to Saka, but look at the work by Kvaratskhelia, and he's won it off him. Saka's having a tough night. I think he's holding on to the ball for too long, trying to be that guy. I actually think if I was Arteta, I'd be saying to Saka, look, you're getting doubled up all the time. Stop holding on to it and just move it. What do you got for tea? Says Alex. I tell you what, I had a brilliant, I do this on the regular at least once a month. Chicken pasta, but it's not. It's more than that. It's way more than that. Fry some onions. Chicken strips, load of mushrooms chopped up in it, bit of cayenne pepper, bit of basil, bit of mixed herb, passata, spinach. Boil up your pasta, mix your pasta into all of it, sprinkle some cheese on the top. Bada bing, bada bing. I've definitely done something. Has anyone ever done a hernia? I don't even know how I've done it. Something's not right. I'm falling apart. I'm actually falling apart. I can't believe it. My hip's killing me anyway, and now it's hurting right there. And it wasn't a pen. I was lying for comedic effect. Dembele is warming up for PSG here. Master Yoda says, we bottled a 3-0 lead against Coventry. How come they didn't use Cheeto a bit more, says Jake? He's 17. A hernia happens in your stomach, says Easy. I know, that's where I'm rubbing. Not rubbing my knob. Saka is injured. He has looked injured, hasn't he? He hasn't looked fully fit. Well in, Timber. Well done, Lewis Skelly. But he's lost the ball. I feel like, got the ball. I feel like Arsenal are holding on to the ball a little bit too much. How's that a free kick? I thought he got the ball. Probably not enough of the ball. Yeah, he just sort of slid into it, really. Fast and Bulbous had a big hernia in the ball sack. Oh, God. Free kick for PSG. Easy take for Raya. Matu says, I wonder what Mbappe will think if PSG end up winning the Champions League. I wonder what Real Madrid will think. Best team in the world, win the Champions League, buy Mbappe from PSG, get knocked out in the quarterfinals, and PSG win the Champions League. The Mbappe curse. Never won the Champions League, has he? Maybe Mbappe is the Champions League. He's allergic to it or something. Real Madrid will be back. They just need to sort their system out, which I'm sure Alonso will do. One Inch Wonder, I'm not reading that, it's filth. 20 says Mbappe might be the Harry Kane of the Champions League. Well, I'm not going to steal. I'm not going to steal this. I will give credit. I read it on social media, but somebody was saying Harry Kane breaking his cup curse like he hasn't just lost his virginity in a room full of free prostitutes. Which basically translated means anybody can win a trophy playing for Bayern Munich. See what I mean? Losing the ball again. Arsenal players holding on for it too long, and they're losing the ball a lot in the second half. They're not playing with as much freedom. I can see PSG scoring again. No, he's missed. Doué. Zaid says, do you think Alonso will play a back three at Real Madrid? I don't know. I mean, look, Amorim's not going to change because that's his system and he's just not going to change it. I don't know whether Alonso's going to be that rigid. Do you think Arsenal are going to come back? I think this first 8 minutes of the second half, they've lost whatever they had in the first half so far. They're giving the ball away a lot, and PSG are picking up a lot of the ball. So Arsenal at the moment don't look like they did in the first half. Saka looks like he's going to be coming off here, I think. He's been hobbling around a little bit. And no, he's carrying on. I can't root for a team that Piers Morgan does, says David. Every fan base has got their knobheads, mate. Another yellow card. Kvaratskhelia. I remember Turkish said Invincibles is worth 3 Champions Leagues. I think you can only say that if you've actually won a Champions League. It's like saying a Vauxhall Astra is worth 3 Ferraris when you've never driven a Ferrari. Kvaratskhelia work rate defensively is insane, says Faris. I feel like PSG are going to win this game in a minute because Arsenal are not offering anything in the first half. They've got to start, they've got to change it up a little bit here. Rachel Todd says, my team has got John Bishop as a fan and I don't think he's that funny. We've got Ollie Mers at Man United. Yeah. Imagine how we feel. Literally a troublemaker. Oh God, I really don't know how I've done this, but I'm in pain. Saka. Oh God, I wish I could take my trousers off. What position can I be in with a bloody groin strain? It's killing me. How do you get a groin strain watching a football match? You can see why Agate wasn't required by this PSG squad. Imagine him trying to hold on to the ball. Yeah, it's a stylistic thing, Space Cowboy, definitely. You can definitely understand that. Saka, decent corner, but Donnarumma is not going to get beat from a corner. Punches it away. Goal kick. Set piece coach goes and sits down. I'm like Luke Shaw these days. I am the Luke Shaw of the content creation world. Always injured. Donnarumma's probably the number 1 goalkeeper in the world at the moment, isn't he? Doesn't mean he is the best goalkeeper in the world, but he's out there doing it, isn't he? Thoughts on Tom Brady coming out of retirement? Nah, he's not, is he? No. You can get a groin hernia. I had one last year, says Daniel. Impossible to watch Beckham and Friends, says Mixter. With all due respect, I mean, I like Tucci and Richie, but I don't really want to watch them watch football with David Beckham. I mean, they've missed the trick again, isn't they? Imagine if it was David Beckham and me. You might not like me, but they'd get a lot more views from football fans. Guy Ritchie, I want to watch Mobland. Put another episode of that out. I don't want to watch Guy Ritchie watch football. De Bruyne has been approached by Liverpool, says Josh. People are just making stuff up. Free kick. Odegaard straight in. Donnarumma punches it away again. Dominant Donnarumma. Saliba into Odegaard. They've got to move the ball quicker, Arsenal. Everyone's taking an extra touch. They're running out of ideas here. Saliba back post. Marino. Martinelli. They're running out of ideas, Arsenal, here. That's what's going on. Have you got any interest in the NBA anymore, Mark, says Brian Dale? I never really did. I liked The Last Dance. I really enjoyed that. I think it's one of the best sort of documentary series I've ever watched, but I've never really watched NBA. Have you done that one? Arteta's got no tactics. Arsenal deserve better, says Sam. Where were you for the first half, Sam? Why are Arsenal playing like they're 3-0 up? They need to go up the tempo if they want to go to the finals, says Nigel. I think to be fair to PSG, I've seen them a few times and they're very good at, they don't play one way. They're very good at adapting, and I think that's what they've done second half. And Arsenal just aren't getting any joy. Why are Arsenal playing like they're 3-0 up? Done that one. Who played more minutes last year? You in charity matches or Luke Shaw? I genuinely think it's close, says Charlie. I think if he hadn't played the Euros final, it probably would have been me. DiMarzio is apparently reporting the Kevin De Bruyne thing. Yeah, DiMarzio's not that reliable now, though. Well done, Saliba. Oh, no, he's got himself in trouble. No, he's done very well. Wins a free kick. PSG will surely win against Inter. I don't know. I don't know. I think people will underestimate Inter again. Here's Saka. Oh, what a save again. What a save again by Donnarumma. That's going in the top corner from Saka. Done everything right. They just can't score. Again, if that's against Everton, that's a goal. There's no way Pickford saves that. It's a height thing. Definitely PSG's man of the match. Here's Hakimi on the break. 3v3. Still Hakimi. Goes for the shot. Raya save. Thank you very much for your super chats. Sean says, you've done yourself in by moving in your chair from the back wall. You was fine before that. Welcome to middle age, says Sean. I think that's what it was. I think that's exactly what it was. It's a muscle strain, isn't it? Well done, Sean. You should be a voyeur. That's exactly what it was. It was doing that with the chair, wasn't it? It's a muscle. Could be a hernia, but it's probably muscle. Oh. Well, there'll be no muscle strains for Arsenal fans tonight. If they go out, they're going to feel very flat. It's definitely been a limp second half. Good first half from Arsenal, but second half very disappointing. It's almost like they don't believe. Again, Saka trying to do too much. What are they doing VAR for? What's he doing VAR for? Well, this could be a penalty, Arsenal. What's going on? PSG are chasing the referee. You can't do that. This could be a lifeline. This could be an absolute lifeline. Didn't see it. Don't know what we're watching, but the fact they always get given. I don't even know. Oh no. Oh, that's harsh. It's not Arsenal. It's giving it. Is it harsh? Is it harsh? I think it's really harsh. I think it's really harsh, that. I think that's really harsh. Never get given in the Prem. Who do you think it was a penalty? Let me know. Look, take away your Arsenal bias. Was it a pen? I think in Europe it is. We've seen them given time and time and time again, but I think it's harsh. As a defender, I don't really think there's a. It's not like Luis Skelly's gone to try and save it. His body's in a natural position. You don't have your hands, but anybody who's played the game knows that your hand's in that position naturally. People will say his hand's out. Have you ever played as a defender? Like his body's in that position because naturally your arms do go into that move. Penalty for PSG anyway. The game will be over with this. 54% saying it's a penalty. Lee says it's an unnatural position. No, do you know what unnatural position is? Unnatural position is when your body's in an unnatural position. His body's not in an unnatural position. Your hand can be out in a natural position. You're never going to be off balance with your hands down by your side. He's always going to have his hands out. That's what I'm saying. It's not an unnatural hand position. An unnatural hand position is when you jump in the air with your hands in the air. He's just literally, balancing himself, but his hand is out. I think in Europe it's a penalty, but in the Prem you'd never get that. I think it's a bit harsh. In a game, I also think VAR are a little bit of a bunch of twats, really, because it's going to kill the game, isn't it, as well? You didn't need to go giving that, I don't think. In a game of this magnitude, when the scoreline is already 2-0 PSG, you don't need to go looking for that. But look, call me a conspiracy theorist. He's missed it. Call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't think that needed to be a penalty. Arsenal won't be in the Club World Cup. I don't think... I think there was probably a foul on the Barcelona player by Dumfries for the late equaliser yesterday. Barcelona won't be in the Club World Cup either. So, conspiracy theorist, hey? Anyways, missed it. Good save by Raya. I mean, Arsenal still got a mountain to climb. Oh, the ball don't lie, said someone in the chat. 35,000 watching. You're a bunch of legends. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Arsenal stay alive here, but they've got to score. I tell you what, I had no idea that was a penalty. I actually thought it was going to be for Arsenal. Didn't know what had gone on. Was it a bad penalty? It was a bad penalty, but to be fair, where he put it is still a difficult place to save. It wasn't down the middle, was it? It wasn't like halfway between the post and the goalkeeper. It was in the bottom corner. Embarrassing penalty, though, says 1 Inch Wonder. Sommer and Donnarumma have been class in these semi-finals. Masterclass in goalkeeping. Looking forward to the final, says Jackie Boy. Arsenal struggle playing in an atmosphere, says Friday Night Whites. Probably worse than the one we got against PSG, says Stephen. No, he had his hand in the air. He was waving a taxi. Kimpembe. Was it Kimpembe? Donnarumma's haunting Saka in any big match he plays, says Gag. Newcastle all over again, says Support Stick. Cobby will become Pogba talent, but awful attitude, says Gio. Who's got? How do you know Mainu's got a bad attitude? Hi Mark, people over here in Saudi are saying Bruno is coming to Al Hilal no matter the cost. How much should we let him go for? Says Mohammed. 500 million. Calafiori. It's just like Arsenal to get one back in the 90th minute. Saka is very good, says Forms, but I feel like Arsenal's fans overhype him a lot, going as far as saying he's the best winger in the Premier League history. How good is he really? Thank you, Forms. PSG are boring to watch for me, so I'm looking forward to the final. Hoping to crush them, says Hazo. I know this is not the right channel, but a fun stat for you. Only once this season have Bodo Glimt not scored more than 2 goals at home, says Cohen. Ooh, I tell you what, I'm obviously on the United stand tomorrow for United's game against Bilbao, but I am going to have another screen for Spurs Bodo Glimt. I think Spurs will do it, but I'd love it if they don't. Play, bench, sell, Alisson, Donnarumma and Sommer. I'd sell Sommer, I'd bench Donnarumma and I'd start Alisson. No hype, no recency bias. You ask me an honest question, that's my honest answer. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. Everybody's welcome here. We're only 100 subscribers away from 326,000. So please do subscribe. What the hell are Arsenal doing here? Hakimi wins it. What a weak tackle by Partey. Couldn't tackle a packet of crisps. What the hell was that? Both goals conceded are absolutely shocking on behalf of Martinelli on the first one and Partey on the second one. That is an absolutely lazy, dreadful tackle. You can't make those mistakes. Absolute letdown. That is shocking by Partey. That is really, really shocking. I mean, that is game over as well, but what the hell is he doing there? Great finish by Hakimi, much the same as Ruiz. But look at Partey here. This can't be arsed. Lazy. Lazy in 2 tackles. Lovely finish by Hakimi though. There's still a lot to do. Brilliant finish by Hakimi actually. Brilliant finish by Hakimi. But Arteta out. They'll be getting the wine out now. What are my thoughts? First half, I thought Arsenal played well. Don't have a striker. Second half, I think PSG have been much better. Arsenal haven't been in it second half. PSG have been the better side. Enrique has switched it up tactically. Arsenal haven't had an answer. They've barely had a chance. Saka's shot was a good shot, but it would have been a worldie. And in the first leg, I think Arsenal paid the price of being, a little bit slow. That attempt tackled by Partey was a violation, no pun intended, says Robbo. Hakimi or Dumfries, says 1 Inch Wonder. I'd love both. More bottle jobs than beer factories, says Jimmy. Heineken FC. Player stretch too wide. VD never does that, says Sati. This is why I can't say Saka is world class, says Keel. Any touch of the hand in Europe risks a penalty. Seen lots of harsh ones in these games. Hard to believe, but the Premier League does this much better than UEFA, says Patrick. Or the Premier League does it worse. I actually think it would benefit English clubs if we actually did it the same as Europe. I would rather everything was a handball if it touches your hand than... I think the Premier League is too subjective on handball. I think in fairness, Europe's quite harsh, but at least it's probably going to be a handball. Premier League, I disagree, Patrick. I don't think the Premier League's better. I think it raises too many questions. $15 minutes to go, 3-0 down. The dream is over for Arsenal. Even worse, you've got to go to Liverpool on Sunday and be humiliated. Season over. Yeah, well, look, what Arsenal need to do is, you know, you're going to have to put up with a lot of moaning for the next few hours and days. They need the season to end, and they need to go and buy a couple of players, don't they? I mean, I know they've been linked to Zubimendi. Apparently that's going to happen. I'm very interested to see what striker they're going to get. Saka's made one back. One back for Arsenal. 15 minutes to go. Saka. What we saying? What we saying? Breakaway. Trossard. Up against Martinez. Not a foul for me. Play on. Puts the cross in. Bit of luck. Saka. No way is that a foul. No way is that a foul. Give the goal. Give the goal, we move. Make it interesting for the last few minutes. And he's given it. 2-1. Okay, game on. Back where we were. They need 2 goals in 15 minutes. I've had enough. Arteta out. When's it going to end, Robbie, says Nick P. Isn't it crazy that PSG may win the Champions League with an actual cohesive team after years of trying with the French Galacticos, says Stephen. It would be ironic. I think Alanis Morissette could sing it. You know, it's like rain on your wedding day. It's like 10,000 spoons when all you need was a knife. It's like finding the man of your dreams and meeting his beautiful wife. It's like buying Mbappe. It's like selling Mbappe to Real Madrid and winning the Champions League the next season. Donnarumma and Sommer, 2 best goalkeepers in the world at the moment. Fantastic performances, but they aren't ball-playing keepers. Pep ruined importance of saves, says Mickey. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Hear ye, hear ye. Brilliant comment. Netflix FC, says Black Pearl. Hakimi versus Trent, says Paul, says Ollie. I'm not doing that because, well, I will do it, but I know what'll happen. 54% of you said it was a penalty, by the way. Arsenal are really poor when put under pressure, says James. Ibrahim says 120 million and they can have Bruno's right shin pad. What was it? Hakimi versus Trent. I mean, look, I don't like doing either-ors when one of the players is playing well in the game we're watching and the other one is absent because it's just very loaded. But being as it's against Trent, go. Rice, he's got a pass. Odegaard can't find the pass. I'll tell you what, if they get one back in the next 10 minutes, it'll be interesting. If only they had a striker to throw on. Anyone. Peter Crouch. I honestly think Arsenal just don't have the correct mindset to win titles. They have the ability, but they can't deal with the pressure, says Ethan. I disagree, Ethan. I've got to be consistent. I still think that they are a couple of fundamental players away. I don't think their bench is strong enough. And obviously, I don't think they've got a forward. Oh, Saka's just missed an open goal. What a miss. Well, Barcelona have got Yamal. And Arsenal have got your miss. What a miss. That is by Saka. I don't even know. I think, you know what? That is such a basic action for a player of his quality. And you know what I think he's done? You know what I think he's done? I think he's thought Donnarumma's going to get the ball. And that, my friends, is basic. Absolute basic. Like, as a professional footballer, you've always got to assume the defender's going to miss the header. The goalkeeper's going to miss the ball. You've got to work on that assumption. What a miss. What a miss. Look, you can't put that down to tactics. That was bad. Here's Rice. They need to win these second balls. Oh, it's Partey again. Don't call him Partey. Call him falling apart, because he's having a shit game. He's falling apart. Can PSG get a goal on the counter and kill it? Kvaratskhelia goes wide. Good save, Raya. 10 to go. Another free kick for PSG. Greg props off whose line is it anyway, said Alanis Morissette doesn't understand irony. Is it a culture thing for Arsenal? No success in Europe, says Stephen. Look, I think it's very fashionable to slag Arsenal off. I think I've said that numerous times over the last couple of years. Everyone finds it easy to slag them off. But yeah, I could jump on that bandwagon. Of course I could. But I also think there is also a responsibility sometimes to just watch football and praise good teams and, you know, assess and feedback on where I think issues are. I've said it before and I'll say it again. And I want to get clipped on this. Ben White's going to score a hat-trick in 10 minutes and change this game. No. I think Arsenal are going to win the league next year. I do. Regardless of what happens in the next 10 minutes and regardless of the multiple meltdowns, I really do think they're going to win the league next year. And that's no disrespect to Liverpool, who I think will be right up there. But I think they will. Dependent on who they buy in the summer. I think if they buy a Sesko, I'm like, But if they bought an Ollie Watkins, I'd say yeah. I just think, I've played the game, I've watched the game, and I think they really do miss having Mr. Goal Scorer. Here's Rice. PSG have got everybody back now. You've got to start putting the ball in the mixer. Odegaard. Rice loses it. They're away again. It's a lovely ball. Hakimi can't quite keep it in. Up to have it as 0.81 XG. Move Maniacs, that was Samarito. Don't forget, tomorrow it's United stand, double watch along. Obviously United against Bilbao, but also we'll have Spurs against Bodo Glimt. I've actually ordered a Bodo Glimt top. No, I haven't. I should have done. I've noticed Rice gets in the way of players sometimes when he goes high up the pitch. Goldio says Saka's got to gamble there. Yeah, he should have scored. And what a final few minutes we would have had if he had. What's that from Fennec? Our moderator says there's 34,000 in here. Please do subscribe. Arsenal will finish 5th next year. Remember this, as Irish Ryan. If he finishes 5th next year, he's getting the sack. I think you've got to give him another year, give him the players they need, and then if he doesn't win anything, you maybe go, right, let's go and get a manager who can. Let's get Ange in. If Arsenal... Look, here's a question for you then. If Arsenal did sack Arteta tomorrow, which they won't, where would you go? Because you can't go with another style of play. You'd have to go with somebody who can pick this team up like Slot has with Klopp. You wouldn't have loads of money to spend again. Yeah, you could get the striker in, which you've got to do anyway. But you've got to get a manager in that can come in and work with this system and these players. Southgate. Nagelsmann's not going to come to Arsenal before the World Cup. Oh my God. It's catching. Hakimi. Done very well. Kvaratskhelia there. Just playing for time. He's going to fall over and win a free kick. Still got it. Goal kick. Probably a little bit of afters there between Kvaratskhelia and Calafiori. Both would have been in Serie A last year. If they had a fight, look, Kvaratskhelia is the better player, but Calafiori would pound him. And I don't mean in a sex way. He's a big lad. Tom says, we must not forget Arsenal beat Madrid both legs. When you look at the bench and no strikers, you've got to praise them, says Tom. Yeah, I don't think even some of their fans are going to do that. Saka gets booked now. The clock is just running down here now. Frustration bubbling over. Could have been a different story if they took some of their chances. Don't know how that's a free kick for PSG. Arteta out. They'll be doing that tonight. Robbie's out there. Go and find him. Arteta out. Get your views. Arteta gets sacked before Amorim. Ooh. I like that poll. Hakimi's beaten Trent. I like that poll. You won't get that with Beckham. Who gets sacked first? Amorim, Arteta. I mean, I know who should get sacked first when you look at the situations. I think Arteta's got a safer situation than Amorim. Yeah. Unless Arsenal score literally now, well, even then, I don't think there's time to score 2 goals in Europe. It's not the Premier League where you can get 10 minutes added on. Nuno Mendes for Ramos. Long throw by Arsenal. No one even attacks that. Long cross into the box. Ben White heads it and it goes for a goal kick. Alex says, do you rate Calafiori? I don't. I think for a first season he's been a little bit injury prone. I thought he looked very good in Italy last year and obviously played very well in the Euros. But I think next season's a big year for him, isn't it? He's got to play. He's got to stay fit. Evian front sponsor an Arsenal shirt next season, says Roscoe. Minute to go. 3-1 on aggregate. Is it a fair reflection? I think the difference is PSG's ability to finish. I don't think there was that much between the sides. When you look at that, when you look at the stats from today's game, I don't think there's much between the sides. I think even in the home leg, PSG were better, but Arsenal still had chances and didn't score them. I mean, they've scored 1 goal in 2 ties. It just fits in with what I said before the semi-final. I worried where Arsenal goals were going to come from. Yeah, well, we beat Real Madrid 3-0, but 2 of your goals were worldies, you know? from free kicks. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's not stopped me before. I just don't think Arsenal score enough goals for the quality that they've got and the penalty box action they create. I don't think they score enough goals. I genuinely think Darwin Núñez would be an improvement. I'm not joking. I genuinely think Darwin Núñez would be a big improvement for Arsenal because, all right, he might miss, but he'd score some of them. And look, you're gonna get your revisionists who are gonna say Arsenal is shit, get rid of the manager, this, that, and the other. But if you've actually watched the games, PSG are a good side, and I've been very impressed with them this season. And maybe they're about to win their first Champions League. Maybe it'll be Inter. I think it'll be an interesting final. But when I've watched this game, I don't think Arsenal have been outclassed. I think there's been periods where PSG have been better than them, and I think there's been periods where Arsenal, certainly in the first half, have been better than PSG. But it just comes down to the quality. PSG have got a better bench, of course, but they've also got players that can put the ball in the back of the net. And goals win games. And Arsenal need to solve that. I mean, how many games have they drawn this season? Will you ever own a racehorse? Says Kenneth. It's not something I've considered. I'll be drinking this tomorrow night. I'll have a glass of this tomorrow night. Absolutely fantastic. I asked for a bottle of Melbeck, and the wife delivered that. Gary Barlow Melbeck. I can't wait to taste it. Absolutely incredible. Didn't even know. Well, I did know he did wine because I follow him on Instagram, but I didn't know he did red wine. I mean, it's just a perfect fit. Yeah, tune in tomorrow night on That's Football United Stand. Sorry, it's going to be a very interesting night. United could be heading to a Europa League final. Europa League final is actually 2 weeks tonight. The Champions League final is 3.5 weeks away, but the Europa League final is 2 weeks tonight. So, look, odds on it's probably going to be a Man United Spurs final, but you just don't know. Even Amorim said himself, you never know what's going to happen with United. You certainly never know what's going to happen with Spurs, and Bodo Glimt are at home. Spurs have got a few injuries as well. Arsenal still on the attack. They're going to run out of time. Trossard's got to hit it. Got to hit it. Blocked. Kivior wins the throw in. 2 minutes to go. Thanks everyone who's tuned in the last couple of nights, by the way. We're only 8 subscribers away from 326,000. Please do hit the subscribe button before you go. And Donnarumma gets hold of that. But yeah, last couple of nights have been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I think last night's game was better, of course, but you know, we were never going to get an absolute classic. I thought the first half was good. PSG have game managed it really well. I'd really give Enrique a shout out again. I've been very impressed with him as a coach. I mean, if Arsenal were looking to replace Arteta, he'd be one of the ones out there I'd be looking at. I don't think you'd get him, but, you know, just very impressive coach. Not a Pep disciple, which is always a big tick in the box, but an exciting coach in the way he plays football. But also, I was very impressed with the way they started the game. All right, they rode their luck a little bit, but they played defensive. They played counter-attacking football. And then in the second half, they've changed again and gone a little bit more offensive. So I like the way PSG play. They do adapt and change. They don't always play the same system for 90 minutes. There is vulnerability to them. I think a better Arsenal attack could have got some goals in the first half, and we saw that with Villa at Villa Park. They can be wasteful. We saw that in the first half here, and we saw it against Liverpool. But they're still quite a young team as well. I think it's going to be a really interesting final. Inter have got the experience, and PSG are trying to do it for the first time. 20 seconds to go. Crazy that set-piece coach is more active than Arteta, says Cal. Arsenal have been playing for corners and set-pieces all game. What do you think Arteta's excuse will be? I know what my excuse would be. I'd say, check my interview from February the 1st when I said I was disappointed we didn't buy a striker. Read that and look at what happened. That's why I was disappointed. Good night. Thank you to my players. They've given it their best, but we need more up front. See you later. Robbo96 says, has anyone seen Arsenal? Well, the final whistle has gone. The PSG players embrace. Arsenal players look dejected. But they have to embrace the fact that they were always chasing shadows. They were always trying to catch up. And ultimately, PSG take their place in the final on the quest to win their first ever Champions League. And how ironic is it that PSG, for me, for a decade, have always been a team I've laughed at and never wanted them to win a Champions League. But this year, I've actually really liked watching them. I think as a team, they're very, very easy on the eye. And I wouldn't begrudge them winning the Champions League this year. But Inter, same again. I think it's going to be a very interesting final. Robbo says, has anyone seen Arsenal? Piers Morgan, Martin Odegaard's chin hair, North London forever. We took City all the way. Premier League player in his 30s who can't be named for legal reasons. Can you hear me? Says Robbo96. Careful with the racehorse, Mark. Glazers might buy up the United stand shares. Go private while you ain't looking. Bloody rat, says Roscoe. Thank you very much. Liverpool have made an offer to De Bruyne, betrayal or similar to a Lampard to City type move, says Wes. I don't think De Bruyne will go to Liverpool. I don't see that happening. Reese K says PSG nearly missed out on being in the 24 in the league system. Do you like the format? Well, don't tell Arsene Wenger that. Don't tell Arsene Wenger that. Arsenal are England at club level, says Mazza. Daniel says, meanwhile, at Mbappe's house. Legends tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in as ever. Don't forget to tune into the United Stand tomorrow night. We'll have the Spurs game on as well. If you want to react to the Arsenal game, get yourself over to Football Terrace with Terry. He's going to be reacting to it now. But I'm done for tonight. I will have some content up for you tomorrow. Take care. Speak to you in a bit. And thank you very much for tuning in. United tomorrow. Could be heading to a final. Not Arsenal, though. Speak to you later.